She has attended nearly 200 births, not as a doctor, not as a nurse, but as someone filling a gap most people didn't know existed. This is Emily Jacobson of Green Bay Doulas. Let's say hello. Come on. This is Emily Jacobson, and the agency she founded, Green Bay Doulas, in 2015 with one phone and one belief: that bringing a baby into the world shouldn't feel lonely. Today, Green Bay Doulas is a certified women business enterprise with a full team covering everything families need: childbirth education, labor support, lactation help, postpartum care, sleep training, and yes, placenta encapsulation. They're the people who show up at 3 a.m. when labor starts, who know exactly when to speak up and when to just hold space, who remind you that yes, your body absolutely knows what it's doing, even when your brain is in full panic mode. This isn't about trends or Instagram moments. It's about giving families the support they actually need. So Emily, let's go back to the beginning. What made you want to become a doula?
So it's not that I wanted to become a doula. I kind of just fell into it. And what I mean by that is my sister-in-law asked me to be in the room with her for the birth of my niece. Had no idea how to support anybody in labor. So at the time I lived in Madison, I drove to the Madison Birthing Center, asked them like, hey, is there like a book I could read? And they're like, oh, it's called a doula. I was like, I don't know what a doula is. And so kind of snowballed out of there. And so I was there for the birth of my niece on 11/11/11.
So it was good luck not only to be there for her, but then obviously everything that you've created so far.
Yeah, I thought to myself, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Awesome. So you started way back in 2011, but then formed Green Bay Doulas in 2015. What has the journey looked like so far, going from a solo provider to a full-blown agency?
Yeah, so sustainability. When you're a doula, you will miss birthdays and holidays. Babies don't really care about your schedule much. So kind of understanding that like I'm limited to the income that I could possibly make as one person. How do I get the reach that I would like to have, but also how do I have a sustainability factor that keeps me doing this work longer than the average career of 2 to 3 years as a doula? And so I found a training down in St. Louis. I drove down to St. Louis about advanced business training for doulas, took the training, drove all the way back. I was on call for a client who was 38 weeks pregnant. It was like the most nerve-wracking 48 hours of my life. But the entire drive back from St. Louis was the business plan of how to create Green Bay Doulas. And so going from Mama Bear Doula Services, which was my original name, very kitschy cliche, to let's be more professional in a sense of SEO. Yeah. You can find us pretty quickly that way, but also just know that we're a community and it's not just one person. So that's how the agency was born.
That is amazing. So you went and started of your vision and then are like, hey, you know what? I want to make a bigger impact. How can I bring others along for the ride? Because you yourself have attended just shy of 200 births, but your agency has attended over 500. That is incredible.
Yeah, so it just shows that it can't just be one person. It has to be a community. And when we talk about parenting and we talk about childbirth and just raising children, it takes a village. So why wouldn't we have a village here?
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. So why Green Bay? Was this where the original opportunity was and where you saw the business could grow, or was there something else that drew you to the area?
I am from Green Bay.
That's a damn start.
Graduated high school here, Red Devil Pride. And so this is my community. I knew that being in Madison for college and staying a few years extra was great, but the cost of living was too high down there and I wanted to start a family and keep things going. But up here, it's much more, it's a different feel. And in Green Bay had a completely open market for this kind of service. So not only did I have to build the business, I had to build the demand and the awareness and the education, but I knew so many people because I grew up here. Yeah. So it was helpful in that sense of building the community that I already have, and then how do we then grow the community from there? So that's why Green Bay.
So you went through and you had a village to be there for the clients that you serve in the area. And the reason you really came back is what it sounds like you had a village that could help grow you as a small business owner, and a few other awards that you have won over the years for Green Bay Doulas. Let's talk about it. So for someone who's never heard of what a doula is, outside of labor support, and for those that maybe aren't the ones giving birth, walk us through what is everything that Green Bay Doulas provides?
Yeah, so the easiest way to describe it is we're birth coaches. The word doula is actually a Greek word. It means to serve. So if we go from there, I will joke with the dads, I'm your golf caddy. Cannot golf for you, but I know this area. I know what the weather's doing. Right? I explain to a lot of people it's kind of like a wedding planner. You can have a great wedding without one, but there is something about having that person in your corner. They have the umbrellas in the trunk because you didn't think about it. It's the small details of how do you get the best experience out of such an intimate time, and things are always changing. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of hospital policies. There's a lot of just unknowns. And so if you could have Google at your fingertips that actually gives you good information, that's what a doula is.
Got it. So you're the person that's there providing the expert advice, the advocacy, and the guidance, not just for the person giving birth or the individual, but the couple throughout the entire process. You're not just there on go time.
No, we've spent months building relationships with our clients so that when they show fear, when they show uncertainty, we know that. We've gotten to know them, so we can say, like, where's that coming from? Let's talk more about that.
Yeah.
For partners and dads, like, that's not their space to know. They're not experts in birth. They're experts in her. We're the experts in birth. So let's combine the powers, Captain Planet style, and let's make that magic happen that way. And so that's the easiest way to describe it.
I think the next thing you need to do is create a theme song based off Captain Planet now.
It's true. I would really like that.
So Green Bay Doulas offers a full array of classes from childbirth to newborns to VBAC. Obviously, there's a lot going on. So how does your experience with teaching really play into that?
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. And I think in a world of information at our fingertips, but what's actually good information and what's relevant information, we work in these hospitals. We know the hospital policies. We know what birthing looks like in our community. And so we can take that information and educate. In a world of only 5% that utilize doula services, most people don't even know what certain things are. What's the labor process look like? How do I breastfeed my baby? We even offer a grandparents class, talk through the generations and how parenting has changed. And so when you have your parents trying to help you, like in my day, how do you kind of go through and navigate all of that information? Everyone's going to give you unsolicited advice and information. So how do you actually like get through the weeds and get the actual information that's going to help you and support you to make the best decisions during this very intimate but very close timeline of 10 months and beyond?
Yeah, absolutely. So postpartum care is just as important as the birth itself. How do you and your team provide support, obviously in that time frame after the birth occurs?
So we think of it two ways. One, educational. Maybe you have no experience with babies whatsoever. So how do you bathe a baby? How do you soothe a baby? How do you swaddle a baby? How do you diaper a baby? We'll help you with that. And it's not coming from a space of like somebody you know who's kind of have it, well, you can't do that, or you don't know that. It's never that. It's not
Zero judgment.
Zero judgment. We don't know your journey. We want to help you. The other aspect is respite. You need sleep. Sleep deprivation and postpartum depression can actually present very similarly. And so when you're in that fog, you kind of think, am I going crazy or am I just not sleeping? What does that look like? And that's not helping you heal. That's not helping you build your confidence as a parent. So if we can help you get sleep, we know you're going to be a better parent. If we can help educate you in a way that helps you grow in your confidence as a parent, the dads too, the moms too, whatever that looks like, even grandparents sometimes are with us to be like, what's new, what's changed? How can we help the best? That's what that postpartum aspect looks like. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.
Okay, we have to go there. Placenta encapsulation.
Yes.
That can make some people squirm, other folks are all in for it.
Yeah.
How do you go through and broach such a confusing topic in a way that makes sense?
Well, Eastern medicine in a westernized world is always not so simple.
Yeah.
Right? So we are actually just one of a few mammals who do not readily consume our placenta after birth. One being camels, because it falls in the sand.
Yep.
If you've ever seen the teeth of a camel, we don't have time for that. Right? I don't know if you've got sand in your mouth. Okay. And then the other one, whales. It just falls to the bottom of the ocean. And fun fact, a whale placenta will weigh anywhere between 50 to 250 pounds, depending on the whale.
The more you know.
The more you know. And then, humans. That's it. Cats, horses, dogs, monkeys. Everybody. they readily consume their placenta after birth. And so where has it become something where it's like a you kind of a thing versus like, this was made for you by you and here are some of the benefits? The hardest part is it's anecdotal. Each placenta is different. So there's no way you can actually do like an actual good study on it. But the studies that have been done around the world for women who have done it, the question being, would you do it again? About 92% of women say that they would.
Interesting. So that is a far greater number than I think most people might realize.
Yeah.
I guess what has led to such an encouraging agreement to taking that approach with their body, obviously having just gone through for some people a traumatic experience, and other people one of the most beautiful things to occur.
Yeah.
How do they go from that to these blue bottles in front of us?
I think it comes from what are the benefits from it. So
Absolutely.
What we get reported back to us from our clients that have done it is that you see an increase in your energy, kind of like drinking the coffee, but without the coffee. That the hormone shifts after having a baby aren't so bad. So instead of jumping off that cliff, just sort of gently walking down the cliff.
Okay.
And then some even saw an increase in milk supply, but not all. And so more than anything, people said that it worked for them. And women who come to us who have had postpartum depression in the past are willing to try anything to not have that experience again. And those who have found placenta encapsulation said it has helped them. And so for us, the pills are going to run out, but if you make a tincture, the tincture can last far longer. So those who have had issues with postpartum depression maybe later, like 6-7 months down the road, the pills are long gone by then. Yeah. But this is a way that they can have more of like whether it's a placebo effect or not, it helps them with this transition, and many report the benefits of it.
Fascinating. Now, it can't go without saying that we need to brag on you a little bit. You've accomplished so much in your time. Give us a quick rundown. What are some of those things that you've been able to accomplish so far?
I started the Green Bay Parenting Expo, started a diaper drive in conjunction with House of Hope called Diaper Green Bay. I've been part of Future 15, class of 2017, a Packer Protege Program graduate. I've won an alumni award from my college, Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm a 3-term elected county board supervisor and chairwoman of Health and Human Services.
I'm running out of
I'm the board chair for NeighborWorks and also the chair and also help out with the De Pere Foundation, De Pere Chamber of Commerce Foundation. And I'm your neighbor.
Who would want to be a neighbor? How did this get here?
40 under 40.
It was the last one. Okay, so you've had a lot. How do you have that type of commitment and still being able to be such an impact in the community?
I think all of those awards and accomplishments is just part of having that entrepreneurial mind and drive. A lot of the doulas are in this work only make it 2 to 3 years, and because they're just doula focused. I've never had that kind of brain. I like both sides. I like being in the office as much as I like being in a birthing room or 2 o'clock in the morning with a mom. And so to me, all of these awards and acclimate that have come from this, it just shows. And it's kind of more of aha, keep doing what you're doing. We see you.
Yeah.
And when you're an entrepreneur, that can be quite an isolating feeling sometimes, And so I think more than anything, this is just the community saying back to me, we see you.
Yeah, they're reassuring you in the decision you made.
Absolutely. And it helps the community.
So you've said you wish more employers offer doula support for their staff. If you were in a boardroom right now and we're talking to them, what's your 60-second pitch as to why?
I think at the end of the day, my pitch would be generally the workforce right now is of parenting age. And how are you supporting parents when they go on maternity leave or paternity leave? How are you supporting them if they go through a loss? How are you supporting them if they have postpartum depression? At the end of the day, all of that for insurance, for morale, for culture, impacts the business. So why wouldn't you have us come in? I don't think you need to send a plant to your employee when they have a baby. They have something to take care of already. They don't need a plant to take care of too. Why not give them sleep? We know that when you take a childbirth class, you have less interventions in your birth, less admissions to NICU. Postpartum depression is less when you get your sleep. So why wouldn't you help build stronger employees? It's only going to help your culture, and we're always here to help with that.
Sold. That was a lot.
Yeah, and it can actually cost a company almost over $40,000 if they have a employee that has postpartum depression, because they have lost revenue. They have to make up the work all the time missed from appointments, medications, insurance claims. it takes a lot to be able to support somebody.
So for somebody going through an employer being like, okay, you know what, I don't want to do this because I think it's too much of an investment for us to take on. It's more of an impact on their business if they don't.
Correct. And it can be covered by HSA and Flex. So why wouldn't HR just say, this is an option, we believe in you, whether they want to put it as a wellness package or not, it should still be available as an option to their employees to let them know the support does exist.
Mind blown. And when someone walks into this space, whether it's nervous, tired, overwhelmed, how do you hope they feel?
You know, I got into this work not really knowing much about it. But at the end of the day, what I love seeing is the switch from scared, unknown, all the questions to empowered, making choices out of consent, not duress or just because that's what they said. Seeing that empowerment switch, they say empowered women empower. So I have to say that's exactly what we do.
That makes sense. That was a lot. So what do you see as what's next for Green Bay Doulas? Where is this going?
Yeah, I would love to see this be an actually fully sustainable career, whether that's Medicaid reimbursement, whether that's insurance companies acknowledging and covering it more than just HSA and Flex, because right now it's private pay. So those who want a doula can have a doula, but those who might need a doula can't afford one. And so that is the premise of where this goes next, that everyone who wants a doula should be able to have access to a doula regardless of their monetary income.
Yeah. So for somebody who wants to get connected and wants to reach out and isn't sure where to start, where can people find you?
Pretty easy. greenbaydoulas.com, our Instagram, our Facebook, our LinkedIn. You can find us or just come to a class, check it out. We're always around and we're always here just to hop on a phone call and answer any questions you have.
Awesome. Emily saw families who needed support and decided to create something comprehensive. In a world where having a baby often feels like a medical procedure instead of a life event, she built a business focused on the whole family experience, where families aren't just patients, but people going through something extraordinary. And in Green Bay, that approach is changing how families experience one of the most important moments of their lives. There's something special about a community where people build businesses around caring for each other. I'm Alex Young of the Bowtie Group, and if you'd like to hear more stories like that of Green Bay Doulas, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.